Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Five Flags Speedway. On G-Force TV, I am your host for the night, Adam Ross. I'm so sorry. Stephen Evans can't be here tonight, so you're having to deal with a fill-in. I'm Adam Ross. Joining me any minute now will be Clinton Jeffrey, and we've got an exciting show. People always get jacked up for Five Flags Speedway. And when it comes to asphalt short tracks, it is one of the grandfathers of the sport. Should be a great show tonight. On deck, we expect our B main to be lined up. The top 10 drivers will transfer into tonight's A main. Last week was a wild one at the Legends Oval on Charlotte Motor Speedway. Here's how they're going to line up in this B main event. On the pole, looks like Matthew Shirley in the number 12 machine. Alongside him in the 64, we welcome back Brandon McFerrin. Row number 2 on the inside. Looks to be the 12 machine. Eric Hinks on the inside of row number 2. Alongside him, the 04 of Cam Thompson. Keep in mind, folks, the top 10 will transfer. Starting in 5th in the 190, it's David Rockwood. Alongside him in the 44, it's Connor Ross. Rolling off in the 7th spot's the 86 of Johnny Morrison. The 22 is Marshall Schrank. That takes us back to row number 5, starting in 9th, the 48 of Colton Everingham, and the number 8 of Jordan House. Colton Everingham's got to get in the show. He's always got our hard charger award. Starting 11th, the 031 is Chris Hebert. The 13 is Justin Collison. Tom Gibbons in the 10 alongside him. We'll get that to you, and it'll be on the ticker up above. Green flag is out, and we're racing on what looks to be a foggy day here at Five Flag Speedway. Matthew Shirley, a little bit of a push down into turn number 3. He's out there and gets collected. Cameron Tunn, that takes out some of our faster cars. And I believe that will bring out a yellow flag here. Oh, and we've already got someone a little unhappy out there. A little brake checking going on under yellow. Jeffrey to the booth when he gets the chance. I see he's logged into Discord. Not sure if he's got the race up on his screen just yet. Clinton Jeffrey, are you with us? We'll get the replay queued up by Matt. We'll get the replay. Clint?
Got me, Adam? I'm here now.
Yeah, I got a copy. We can hear you, just waiting for the replay to pop up here. Second lap of our B main, and we're watching right from the start. Looked like Cameron Thompson got up out of shape, but Brandon McFerrin got turned around by the 12 machine. I believe that was Eric Hinks, collected Cameron Thompson. So a tough break for a couple of drivers that started up near the front of this field. Clinton, do you have your VMix link so you can see the action?
Yeah, we're getting up to speed here, buddy. I appreciate you having me as a fill-in tonight.
I'm a fill-in. You're actually the all-star guest announcer. This is a role. I embrace the fact, Clinton. I am a sidekick. That is my role.
I'll be your sidekick tonight, Batman. Let's. This series has been great to watch. One thing I do after we get off our race chat is I always manage to spend some time the hour after grabbing some food and watching it. So I'm bummed out. I got to work tonight, but it's great to call this race. This group of racers has really come together, and it's put on some great shows.
Yeah, and there's always, I shouldn't say always, there is often some carnage that comes along with our B main events, but once we get to the A main, and it's the measuring stick I use is if we run more green flag laps than we do caution laps, that's not a bad night. We had our best week ever last week at the Legends Oval at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I expect we're going to have a pretty good night here tonight as well, Clint.
Just want to welcome everybody back to Winter Meltdown here. It's been great to have Grisdale, Caldecott, Millwrights, and London Recreational Racing get behind this, Adam. Five Flags Speedway. When I mentioned to you where track we going to, you mentioned it. It's a good one. Why do you like it here?
You know what? I like it because the drivers like it. And when you go to a track where the drivers look forward to being there, I don't know why, but the racing just seems to be better. In fact, there's two tracks I like where the drivers really look forward to going, or where the drivers dread going. Both of those seem to result in good action, and this is one where the drivers love going because the Snowball Derby, Clinton. It's a place they've all heard of. It's kind of like Eldora Speedway on the dirt. Everyone loves that place.
Now, is this one of the legacy tracks you get with iRacing, or is this one of the ones you had to purchase?
That I don't know. I can't answer that for you, I'm afraid. This, I believe, is a purchase track. And Matt, producer Matt, oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? Matt Thomas. Goodness gracious, we're going to see a replay here of what brought out the yellow. But I appreciated Matt Thomas featuring Colton Everingham, who started way back in the top 10. He's already into the top 5. Let's see what brought out this yellow, Clint. Oh, yeah, the 66 machine racing down on the... and he tagged the 21 machine. And boy, I wish I was more familiar with these drivers. 21 had gotten loose and just nowhere to go for some of these drivers. Jordan Morris in the 66, and I should know that. We've called him each and every week, but that did some damage to about 5 cars at the back of this field, Clinton, and a little bit of damage goes a long way and really slows these cars down.
Adam, how many cars we taken out of the B here tonight?
We take 10. So the top, all you need to do in the average B main is have a clean run. Survive the B main, you're going to qualify for the A. So out of time trials earlier on, the top 20 cars were locked in. Then we run a B main, everybody remaining. The top 10 out of that B main make it in, and we got some good... They're all good competitors, but you take any driver on this list, they're a solid top 10 contender on a given.
Well, not only are these our E-Pro drivers, a lot of these are, as I like to call them, real pro drivers. You look at some of the names on here, this would be a stout list of last names at any one of the tracks here in Ontario. Collison, Gibbons, House, Ross, Everingham, the list goes on and on.
It really does. And of course, Matt Shirley, who is leading this B main, comes from Saskatchewan, but for the last 2 years or 3 years in a row, he's made the tow to Ontario to run the Canadian Short Track Nationals. Of course, Matthew Shirley, a second-generation racer from Saskatchewan. Great to have him joining us as we ride on board the Johnny Morrison number 86 machine, who's going to line up on the outside of the front row for this restart. Colton Everingham, we talked about him earlier. He's been our hard charger almost every week. He gains the most positions from his starting spot in the A main to his finishing spot in the A main, Clint.
They get lined up and get set to go again. Once again, 12 laps to go here in our B main for Winter Meltdown, live from Five Flags Speedway as we get set to go. Once again, Shirley up on the post, ready to bring him back to it.
I love that Shirley is changing up his starting points every time. He changed his restart point there for this round. Colton Everingham timed it pretty well, jumps up into second. Clint, one into the wall off of turn number 4, and we got lots of cars crashing. Jordan House gets into it. Justin Collison flips down the front straightaway. Marshall Schrank in the 22 is involved. They're still crashing. Clinton, refresh your VMix to make sure you're seeing the live feed. That one took a bunch of cars. Cameron Thompson involved. That one 0-4. So as we see this replay down in the corner, Thompson was up out of the groove. That's not where it started. Further up ahead, that black car gets into the wall, rides the wall up on his side. That's the 031 of Chris Hebert. And a lot of cars involved, taking on serious damage. One of the worst of which, Justin Thompson in that 13.
I think it was the 0-3 ones you said that got pushed up to the outside wall there, and just keep your eye on the outside there as they come back around. And, man, yeah, we'd love to have another look at it, Matt.
I don't know if he got pushed up there, if the trouble is with a race car, Clinton, and there's so many things this simulation mimics in a real car. You have to stay in the throttle to get the car to rotate. So when you get up out of the groove, sometimes the only thing you can do is hit the gas and hope. And that plan didn't work for Chris Hebert.
Yeah, he hit that outside wall, came back across the field, and that was going to be tough sledding for a lot of these drivers. Now, it happened, back around, I think it was 8th or 9th. So are any of these guys going to be able to get repaired, get it fixed? Can they make the top 10 still?
Well, I'm looking. Jordan House running in the 6th spot. He's been involved in a wreck already tonight. So everybody behind the top 5 has been involved in a skirmish at some point this evening. The top 5 pretty much have kept their noses clean as far as I can see. So it goes back to Connor Ross, Matt Shirley in the 12, Colton Everingham in the 48, the 86 of Johnny Morrison. 4th is the 190 of David Rockwood. 5th is the 44 of Connor Ross. From 6th on back, they have all been involved in some sort of mishap, Clinton. So yeah, if you, even with damage, you want to keep out there on the racetrack and try to guard some of that track position.
Just want to remind everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, click down on the settings. Just make sure you're watching on the best possible settings, because sometimes my browser, even at home here, clicks it back a little bit, and you don't get the crispness you should. But make sure you're watching at the top value. It is amazing to see the graphics and the looks we get here.
Right up behind the iRacing pace truck. Where is he going to fire this time? He's fired immediately when the truck came off. We've seen him wait a few car lengths as well. He's on it right away once again. Off of turn 4, we're back under green.
Now, if I'm Colton Everingham, I just want to put these laps in, right? 5 to go. Keep the gap behind you there and roll this one off to the finish if you can.
You're absolutely right. The difference here with him battling for the lead is a starting spot of 21st or 22nd. But look at this battle for the 10th spot. Tom Gibbons up the racetrack, clobbers the wall. Marshall Schrenk tries to get to the inside.
Well, they're all tight there trying to make this one work. Only the top 10 are going to go through right now. It is a battle and a half.
I believe 3 cars out of that group will transfer, 2 will not. So the front 3 out of that are 8th, 9th, and 10th. Then you've got 11th and 12th looking for racing room. It'll be 2 to go this time at the stripe.
Paul Pepper got into it there when he crossed the line last time. He was in that 10th spot. Not sure if he got shuffled out or not. Coming down here with just 2 laps to go in the last chance showdown B main.
Last lap, Jordan Morris, according to the ticker, has that final spot. He's battling with Tom Gibbons. Paul Pepper would love to sneak through for the final transfer. Pepper to the inside of Tom Gibbons for P10. Contact! Oh, no. Oh, no. Jordan Morris spun out of a transfer.
That looks like it will do it. Checkered flag come down. Pepper is going to come around in 9th spot, and that Gibbons back there in the 10th position, I believe, to finish things off here in the B main.
Great run for Matthew Shirley, led from start to finish. Here's your results. Colton Everingham makes the show. He'll start 22nd. And our top 10, no, this is the starting order for the next race. So Matthew Shirley will start 21st. 22nd will be Colton Everingham. Johnny Morrison, David Rockwood, they all had uneventful races. Jordan House recovered from a wreck to finish 5th. Connor Ross 6th. Marshall Schrenk 7th. Eric Hinks 8th. Paul Pepper 9th. Tom Gibbons rounding out the top 10. He will start 30th in tonight's main event. Oh, these races are exciting. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll bring you the A main from the Grisdale Racing Products Winter Meltdown, presented by Caldecott Millwright Services and London Recreational Racing.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best back trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Ribs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him if he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps to tech liner for your truck bed to bump step to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at weathertech.ca.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave sausages and street dogs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
Bring us back.
Welcome back to G-Force TV as we get ready for the Winter Meltdown event at Five Flags Speedway. Let's have a quick look at the point standings heading into tonight's event. There'll have to be a minor adjustment just from the Charlotte race last week, but that was all show-up points, so it won't affect the fact that Blake Neer is our points leader by a slim 3-point margin over Dale Shaw. Gareth Gonder in third, Tyler DiVincenzo fourth, Kyle Steckley fifth. 6th through 10th, we've got Colton Everingham, Joe Lawrence, Connor James, Trayton Lapsevich, and Jordan House. And Clint, you'll notice 18 points is the best anyone has been able to do in the first 4 races of this season. Nobody has really run away and hidden with this series.
Now, I'm a big fan of this golf-style point series where if you finish first, you get 1 point, and if you finish fifth, you get 5 points. Blake Neer has been the class of the field, but there is a slew of amazing short track racers in that top 10, both here on iRacing and in their real cars.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's been fun to watch. We implemented an invert system a few races ago, and I'm not sure what the invert was that was drawn tonight, so it'll be a surprise to us, but we'll bring to you the starting lineup when it becomes available as we thank our sponsors, Grisdale Racing Products, Caldecott Millwright Services, London Recreational Racing, and as you mentioned earlier, Clinton, on our Race Chat show, the partners we have for these broadcasts aren't just our partners. They're amazing partners to all of motorsports in Ontario.
For sure. You know, a lot of races wouldn't happen without these fine people who help us get these shows on, whether it be here or, like we said, at the short tracks for real. I see Pinty's up there. Remember, I told you this is my hour to eat after our show, so I watched that last Pinty's commercial and I was starving now.
I think this summer's going to be big for us, Clinton, because Pinty's has come out with a lot of new lines of food that'll really be suited to our barbecues at the racetrack. So I'm looking forward to it. So this marks race number 6. We're about to see the starting grid for tonight. So we are entering the second half of our Winter Meltdown season. And as I said, I think we're going to see a lot of exciting action. Let's see how they're going to line up for the feature event. On the pole for tonight's event, the 117 of Garrett Tiemersma. I've got to talk to this young man this summer to see if it's Tiemersma or Tiemersma. I've heard it said both ways. I kind of go back and forth. Tonight I'm going to call him Tiemersma. On the outside of row number 1, a young man I was at his race shop this weekend, Clinton, DJ Christie from Beachville, Ontario. Row number 2 on the inside, it's Gareth Gonder in the 81. Alongside him, the 83 machine is Dale Shaw at Guelph, Ontario. Row number 3, Tyler DiVincenzo, young man also out of Guelph, Ontario. Alongside him, from Milverton, the 33 is Kyle Steckley. Starting in the 7th spot out of Windsor, the 03 is Ray Morneau. And from the Grimsby area, the 32 is Trayton Lapsevich. Row number 5 has Blake Neer in the 014. Alongside him, he is driving tonight for Dustin Momborquette. It is Alex McCollum in the 16 machine. Starting in 11th, Connor James in the number 4. And alongside him, the 78 is Joe Lawrence. Looks like Alex McCollum might be getting an EOL penalty as a fill-in driver. Starting 13th is Ryan Dyson, the 28 out of London. Josh Stoddy from Chelsea, Ontario, drives the 017. He's going to start 14th. In 15th, out of Cambridge, it's Blair Wickett in the 17 machine. Alongside him is Brody McPherson in the 56. Starting 17th, Kyle Edgar in the 47. Outside of him, it'll be Matt Boys in the 23. And then 19th and 20th, our final 2 drivers to get in on time. It's the wheelman, Wally Wilson from Owen Sound, and Mike Husby in the number 6, our go-kart racer. Starting 21st, he won the B main, drives the 34. It's Matthew Shirley. The 48 is Colton Everingham. He'll start 22nd. 23rd, Johnny Morrison. The 190, David Rockwood. The 8, Jordan House. 44, Connor Ross. 22, Marshall Schrenk. The 12 of Eric Hinks. And rounding out the field, Tom Gibbons and Brandon McFerrin. We are under green here at Five Flags for a 100-lap feature event.
Cars will change as they get rolling here. Tires cold. These drivers will have to tiptoe around for a few laps until they can get them up to speed, and then things will really start to change, Adam. But just when you get up to temperature and start feeling comfortable, it tends to go away a lot faster than you want.
It sure can. And the biggest trouble, Clinton, with this type of racing is if you miss the corner, if you get in too hard, it is really hard to get control back of the car and get back in the groove without the ass end kicking out on you and really giving you a handful. We saw DJ Christie head into turn number 1, could not make that car stick, slid up the track, drops all the way back to the 4th spot, and he's going to lose that to Ray Morneau in the 03.
Tight racing all the way around here as everybody finds the pecking order in their 2x2 there. Now we got the yellow out on lap 4 here of 100.
The field had really gotten itself sorted out there, at least at the front. The top 3 had gotten to single file. I was impressed with how they kind of got organized because it looks like the invert was about 10 cars, Clinton. So our fastest car today is going to be coming from row number 5. Let's see what Matt has for the replay. Looking back in the vicinity of Marshall Schrenk in that 22, he is on the inside black and green machine alongside Alex McCollum. Oh, contact between McCollum and Colton Everingham. Marshall Schrenk might have overcorrected a little bit there, not sure. Made contact with Tom Gibbons. And how often do we see, Clinton, the cars that start the issue on the track aren't the ones that take the worst of it?
Yeah, it looked like Gibbons got the worst of that one there as the 22 car, as you mentioned, just kind of overcorrected a little bit, got up into the 10 and sent Gibbons into the outside fence. That's a tough break for Tom Gibbons, who got in on the last spot into tonight's race, trying to avoid trouble here, at least for the first 25.
Alex McCollum is a hell of an iRacer, Clinton. He's been a fill-in earlier on this season, and he was starting at the back, and he made contact there, it looked like, and I'm not sure what started it, with Colton Everingham, the driver of the 48 machine, and that chain reaction spilled back to Tom Gibbons. As you said, taking the worst of it. Garrett Tiemersman, the way freight number 17, off to a great start. He'll lead the way to the restart. Alongside of him, it's going to be Gareth Gonder in the 81 in that Scooch Grande sponsored 81 machine. Tyler DiVincenzo in the Maker's Pizza 97. And alongside of him, it'll be the 03 of Ray Morneau.
Getting double up, 8 of 100 complete here at Five Flags Speedway. As part of our winter meltdown, as Adam mentioned earlier, this is race 6 of 10, so we're past halfway now. What a great turnout it's been, Adam. I know a lot of people look forward to this broadcast and the racing going on here every Tuesday.
I know I do. And I love seeing the cars, a lot of which are going to be the same cars we watched this summer, Clinton, racing in Super Stocks, APC Series. You've got dirt sprint car racers, hobby car racers, go-kart racers, and they all come together on a Tuesday night to be iRacers for our viewing pleasure.
Yeah, Tamirsma was the leader there. He took off, but he changed lanes early, Adam. I don't see any penalties coming, but is that something that should be allowed here? And we're 3 wide through the middle of the pack here around Morneau and DJ Christie.
Yeah, DJ Christie in the middle of that 3 wide. Dale Shaw was up on the outside. He kind of backed out. I'm not sure if it was Trayton Lapsevich, Kyle Steckley, or Blake Neer that were involved, but we are under yellow. And about a lap ago, I saw a big mishap down between turns 3 and 4. And who is that? Matt Boyes in the 23 parked on pit road. Things apparently did not go his way. We're going to queue up this replay, Clinton. I saw all hell breaking loose down between 3 and 4, and from what we gather, Matt Boyes got a little bit upside down. We'll keep our eye on that green and yellow. Matt Boyes down the back straightaway. Yeah, exactly. Down into the groove. A little bit of contact with Johnny Morrison. A flipping car went and clipped the 44 of Connor Ross, caused him to flip. A few others were involved in that also. Alex McCollum again at the back of the field, struggling to avoid these early misses. Have another look at this.
Yeah, it almost looked like the I can't tell the number there, but it looked like the one car on the backside got into him, and he got loose and lost grip and got up into the 23, and that's what caused it all.
Yeah. Did not end well for Matt Boyes. He got out of there, so he's waiting for the virtual tow truck to get him back to the pits. "13 laps out of 100 have been completed. Garrett Teemersman has led every one of those laps. Gareth Gonder got a good restart to maintain that second spot. One thing I've noticed out of our third place racer throughout this season, Tyler DiVincenzo, Clinton, more so than any of our top shelf drivers, has backed out of a lot of sketchy situations. He's shown a lot of patience out there in the 97. And I like to think it's paid him dividends out on the racetrack. It's led him to a lot of solid finishes. He knows when to be aggressive, but this early in the race, I've seen him back out of more things than not. So it doesn't surprise me entirely that Gareth Gonder able to maintain that second spot on these restarts.
Back in around the top 10 there, right as the yellow came out, it was getting touchy there with Joe Lawrence and Trayton Lapsevich, and a bunch of them are right in the mix there. And thankfully, they got out of shape just a little bit, but gathered it back up and avoided being another part of a problem here on the yellow. So good recovery for some of those drivers inside the top 10.
Looking back from the Gareth Gonder 81 to the Ray Morneau 03, Reed Farms, one of the sponsors on the hood of Morneau's car. And how about Blake Neer? He's raced his way into the top 5. He'll start on the inside of row number 3.
Those drivers have been a few of the best we've had so far this short season. A little bit different here from our rivals Blacktop, which was primarily super speedways. These short tracks, more yellows, but the racing is tighter and faster paced, it seems. Out of a lot more action.
It's a lot more relatable, Clinton, to what our GeForce TV fans expect, right? This is the type of racing that our audience watches, so why not bring it to them in the virtual form? As DJ Christie gets tagged from behind in that bright yellow number 5, he lost a bunch of positions. Not sure if that'll bring us to a yellow or not, or if he was able to get that car pointed in the right direction, but looks like we're going to stay green. And look at them stacked up for the second spot behind Tyler DiVincenzo and Gareth Gonder.
2 by 2, they head back here to this one. It is tight. Morneau's having a good run there, still holding on the outside lane. But the 81 will move up in front of him. Gonder, as they all chase after the 17 of Teemersma.
We ride on board with Ray Morneau, having a look at Trayton Lapsevich battling door-to-door with Gareth Gonder to the inside of Morneau as the 83 of Dale Shaw. As they race off at turn number 4, Kyle Steckley wants to catch up to Shaw before Morneau is able to get back down to the inside. Ray Morneau working a little bit harder right now than he'd like to be, and he's losing about a spot a lap, stuck behind Gareth Gonder in that 81.
Steckley trying to work to the inside here in that 24 car, trying to put the spot up underneath the Quick Wick machine there as he tries to make a run on that Gonder car on the outside.
Yeah, Gareth Gonder stuck on the outside. Ray Morneau is almost out of the top 10, hung up on the outside. The one opportunity that Gareth Gonder might have is there's a few gaps opening up between these inside lane cars. He's able to get down in front of Ryan Dyson. Ryan Morneau was able to get down as well, but Morneau outside of the top 10 after advancing a number of positions in the laps.
Demiersma leading DiVincenzo right now as we focus on the battle. Right around 7th spot, Gareth Gonder in the 81 car. Dyson in behind him with Joe Lawrence, the defending APC champion back there.
We haven't seen Garrett Demiersma lead a ton of laps in this series. From 2nd through 4th, those are the drivers we've seen at the front. Tyler DiVincenzo, who we ride on board with. Trayton Lapsevich, Blake Neer. He's got to run to the inside. Contact with the 17 of Garrett Demiersma. Oh, Trayton Lapsevich involved. Yellow flag will fly.
Jeez, tough break for these top guys. Demiersma was leading for the first 25 and ends up not going to make it to 26.
I would be surprised if Tyler DiVincenzo does not get put to the back of the field for that one. Again, you know, we don't judge intent, Clinton. We judge involvement, right? And I don't think Garrett Demiersma would have spun out without a little bit of assistance there from the 97 to Tyler DiVincenzo, who got a good run out of the corner. He was there at the back bumper, just was not far enough up the car, in my opinion, to have the lane.
Well, he got into him a little bit, and the first time, then a straightaway later, just got into him a little bit too much. And looked like Neer was the one who got him around, finished it off, but it was definitely off the front bumper of the DiVincenzo 97.
I love the subtle commentary. We get to hear, you and I, Clinton, from Matt Thomas, like, door not open, door not open. Trayton Lapsevich taking a piece of that. Demiersma taking a piece of that. Josh Stoddy a little deeper in the field. Looked like he checked up. The cars behind him did not quite check up. We're going to see some very fast race cars trying to come through from the back of this field. So it looks like Dale Shaw is going to pick up the lead. Yeah, Stoddy heading back. So Dale Shaw, Kyle Steckley did a nice job weeding their way through that. Gareth Gonder in the 81. Blake Neer survived that mishap. Ryan Dyson in the 28. Joe Lawrence in the 78. So at the tail end of the field, we're going to see, and there they are, Tyler DiVincenzo at the tail, Garrett Demiersma right in front of him. Not sure where Trayton Lapsevich wound up after that exchange.
We will wait for the rundown to get sorted out. Closing in on 30 of 100 complete here from Five Flag Speedway as part of the Grisdale Racing Products Winter Meltdown presented by Caldecott Millwrights and London Recreational Racing here live on G-Force TV. Appreciate everybody watching and commenting as we play along.
We've had fantastic audiences, Clinton, for this. Some of the best that we've had in our iRacing events. We appreciate all of you being on board, and we love the comments that we get, so keep them up. So let's see who we have to shout out to. Some good luck to the drivers. Don saying good luck to the 44. Tammy, a big Billy Zardo fan. Steve DeCline likes everyone. He wanted to wish everyone luck. Aaron Martin suggesting that Justin Collison has had some bad luck in this series so far. And we'll scroll down through these comments. And we'll get to the live. See, Steve Owens, Clinton, is just better than I am at getting to the comments, getting to the sponsors, doing all the things that need to be done as we are back under green on lap 32 out of 100.
Back on it here as they roll it around. Still looking at the leaders, trying to figure out where they are. Shaw with the lead. Then Eckley and Gonder, your top three here as we work on lap 3. Behind them, Blake Neer running in position 4, and Dyson up to 5th in the 28.
Yeah, Ryan Dyson quietly working through the field. He's got Joe Lawrence right behind him in the Pennzoil number 78. And I believe that's Kyle Edgar hot on the heels of Joe Lawrence, and then Ray Morneau, who was off to a great start, lost a bunch of spots, and now he's kind of settled in there. I have a feeling he's going to just try to ride around and turn in some laps. Matt, if you're able to over the next couple of laps, let's go back through the field and maybe find out where DiVincenzo is making his way through. Same with Garrett Temiersma and Trayton Lasovich if he is still out there in competition.
Yeah, I'm with you, Adam. I think these guys mostly just want to ride around and put some laps up there. You get a look back at Garrett Temiersma and DiVincenzo way at the back, and they raced together tight for 30. Now they're going to have to race together for 70 as they try and work their way up to the front.
And we pick up right where we left off with Tyler DiVincenzo kind of having a look to the inside of Garrett Temiersma, but Garrett's running a pretty quick pace of his own. Is right in front of them. Josh Stoddy in the 17 trying to put a move on DJ Christie. A couple of yellow cars just at the windshield of Temiersma and Tyler DiVincenzo. We'll keep you updated on their progress as up front Dale Shaw continues to lead the way by about 3 car lengths over Kyle Steckley.
I love those yellow cars, man. They're so distinctive, They're both yellow, but you can tell which one's the Christie car, which one is the Stoddy car from a mile away. If you're any kind of race fan here in Ontario, great to see young DJ. I think he just had a birthday this week, too. Not running that great tonight after getting twisted up sideways, but we're back looking towards the front here. Inside the top 10, that's Joe Lawrence, currently 5th. When we just did the rundown, he was back in 7th. He's got around Dyson and working his way forward.
Yeah, Joe Lawrence is very aggressive in iRacing, just like he is in the APC Late Model Series, where we watch him all summer long. So if there's an opening, he's going to find it, and he's going to charge to it as we ride on board with Ryan Dyson and Blake Neer up out of the groove in the 14 machine.
You haven't seen Blake Neer make too many mistakes this year, and he's trying to keep it on the bottom here as he traces after the top 4 just in front of him there.
And again, big picture racing, if you look at his competition in the points, guys like Trayton Lasovich, guys like Tyler DiVincenzo, they're a lot further behind in the rundown. So Blake doesn't want to get too excited, get back in line, find the spot that you can and cruise. Right behind him now, the 03 of Ray Morneau and the 69 of Wally Wilson.
Got a good look out the nose there, Ryan Dyson, and he chases after that. Pennzoil is 78 of Joe Lawrence on the outside, near in the 14, trying to work up on the top lane around the Dyson 28.
Yeah, Blake Neer's just having problems, Clinton. I don't know if he's messing around with his brake bias, but he's having trouble getting that car to rotate through the turns. You just saw him lose about 3 car lengths to the cars in front of them. There again, just not getting up off the corner. And if you look in his mirrors, I love these shots. Look in the mirrors, Ray Morneau is all up in the rearview mirror of the 14 of Blake Neer.
Now, what's the pit situation, Adam? We must be nearing pit stops. No, they're not going to go all the way through, are they?
They'll go all the way through. That's been the way all season long. I know that our race director, Don York, has been trying to change the track state to make it use a lot more tires to maybe see if he could force some pit stops, force people to go into the pits, get fresh tires, and give up track position. But so far this year, it's just been advantageous to the drivers to stay out on the racetrack because all the way through the field, these drivers are very, very competitive. They're hard to pass.
Now we're focusing in on Blake Neer there, who's having trouble working the outside lane, trying to hold off the Morneau 03, and they're tight there. And now he'll get in front of Morneau, or Morneau tucks in behind Neer, whichever way you want to look at it. Morneau still stiffing up the inside at him. He may have that drive steer on Neer before it's over.
The challenge is, if you go into the corner on the inside, you can't get the car to rotate and get the power down the way he wants. So he'd have to get up behind Blake Neer and try to get a run, but Connor James got his nose to the inside of the 03 and gets that advantage. So now we're seeing the tires wear out on these race cars. If someone can get up on the outside and make some progress, it'll be a complete game changer.
There was a little how do you do from Connor James into the back end of the Morneau 03, and he will take that position away and move himself
Yellow
up.
flag. Yellow is
Yellow
out. Eric
comes out
Hanks in that 12 machine. Yeah, halfway through this one is Eric Hanks has a problem on the front straightaway and 5 flags, Clinton. One of the things that's so hard to deal with at some of the asphalt tracks, whether it's iRacing or whether it's outdoors, the inside wall. You just can't avoid wrecking when you spin out coming off a corner and there's a wall on the inside and on the outside, especially when you clobber the wall as hard as he did coming out of turn number 4. DJ Christie, an innocent bystander who got gathered up in that mess, as Eric Hanks has to make a 3-point turn on the front straightaway to rejoin the field.
It'll look at the replay here as the 12 tries to get the handle. Oh, gets into the outside fence and actually come down across the nose of Christie. And they both end up nosing it down the front wall.
We see some action on pit road. Kyle Edgar in the 47 gives up a top 10. Oh, Kyle Stackley in the pits as well. So, all right, Donnie York is getting what he wanted. He's got some action on pit road. We're going to shuffle up the running order, and we'll let you know where everybody wound up. Tyler DiVincenzo, we have a look around at him and his invisible pit crew. You see the car get jacked up and put down. That means right side tires were just put on. That Black Maker's Pizza number 97, Connor Ross in the 44 rolling off pit road. Now the left side is up in the air of DiVincenzo. He'll get dropped off the jack, beat the pace truck out by about 20 car lengths.
So it looks like everybody but the top 5 came in there. Kyle was back in there. Steckley, a lot of them went in the pits. And if the track has been abrasive, Adam, this is going to change. We're going to find out what the difference between the haves and have-nots are real soon.
I'm almost giddy about this, Clinton. So Dale Shaw in the 83, Gareth Gonder in the 81, the 28 of Ryan Dyson, the 16 of Alex McCollum, and the, I don't know what number he's running tonight, the 17 of Blair Wickett in the 5th spot. They are all on 55-lap-old tires. Everyone behind them, starting with Kyle Edgar in the 47 with fresh American Racer tires on these race cars. Let's see what the difference is between old and fresh.
Now, Adam, when we were running the Rivals Blacktop Super Speedway Series with the B-Class cars, it took about 2 to 3 laps for the tires to come in. Any reports on what it's taken for these tires to be race ready?
In my experience, Clinton, it's about 3 laps. You know, you've got to get them worked in. 3 laps in, you can really get on the throttle. So you have to ease into the corner the first time you go down in. You've got to ease on the throttle. Baby those tires underneath you. After about 3 laps, you can start to get on it a whole lot harder. Now, if you're the 83 of Dale Shaw and you're on hot tires, you can attack right away, but attacking on old tires might not be that much better than taking it easy on fresh tires.
Yeah, to me, it seems like they're going to be even for about 2.5, and then it's going to get good out here as the old tires will start to fade a little bit, and the new tires will come up to temperature, and we'll see what these guys have. A guy like Kyle Steckley could be sitting in the perfect spot here, restarting in 8th with a new set of tires.
Let's remember back to early in the race. Gareth Gonder in the 81, Ray Morneau in the 03 got hung up in the outside groove and had to go fall to the back. They wouldn't force their way down. This is going to be a matter of how much patience are these drivers going to have. I think they need to show a little bit of discretion out there, but at the same time, they know they want to strike while the iron's hot. Dale Shaw gets back on the loud pedal. That was a bit of an awkward start at the front, but we're back under green.
Field back up to pace through 1 and 2 as we work our way through this one, getting back on it. Watch is going to take about 2 laps before things get very interesting.
Connor James in the 4 gets up out of the groove, loses an awful lot of spots. Kyle Edgar in the 47. We're 2 laps into this restart. Let's see if the fresh rubber starts to pay off. He's up on the outside trying to mount a charge.
Good look at the pack here as we watch off the rear bumper, looking at that 81 of Gareth Gonder as he tries to find his way back behind the 16 and up in front of the Dyson 28.
Trouble with some of our heavy hitters. Blake Neer, Trayton Lapsevich involved. Connor Ross on his roof for the second time tonight. Looks like he's going to land on his roof. The 22 of Marshall Schrank, the 190 of David Rockwood. Holy moly, it would hope to be easier to tell you who's not involved.
Went on for a while. We started it with Lapsevich, and he was still in there at the end of it. 61 of 100 complete. Here we're back under yellow with 39 to go.
Okay, so we're watching Marshall Schrank in the 22. There was contact between Josh Stoddy and the 97 of Tyler DiVincenzo. Okay, this wreck happened in front of them. It happened right around the 14 and the 32. Wally Wilson involved there. There's Connor Ross. Matthew Shirley, let's give a tip of the hat to the driver of the number 12 machine. He weeded his way through another one. Good for Matt Shirley. You saw Connor Ross had to hit the escape button, so he'll lose a couple laps being towed down into the pits. Let's catch another replay and see what happened. Okay, we're watching. So Stackley got up out of the groove in the 24. So for a second, they were three wide. Blair Wickett. Okay, so the 17 of Blair Wickett hiccup just a little bit coming out of turn number 2. That caused Trayton Lapsevich to wobble just a little. And when they're three wide like that, so if you can show that again, Matt, I want you to watch the Blair Wickett Lice Busters number 17. Watch his car hiccup and then watch the reaction of the 32, Trayton Lapsevich right behind him, and that was the chain reaction. Lapsevich got down on the apron when the 17 of Blair Wickett checked up a little bit, and once he was down to the apron, he slid up into the car beside him, and all hell broke loose.
Point leader caught up in that one, Adam, so that's going to change things quite a bit in the standings possibly here tonight.
It all depends how they're able to carry on from it. So out in front, Dale Shaw, Alex McCollum, Gareth Gonder. Ryan Dyson in the 28. Kyle Edgar runs in the 5th spot in that 47 machine. Behind him, boy, it looks like Blair Wickett, who was right towards the front of that accident in the 17. Remember Blair Wickett on older tires. And then behind it is all accident cars. And I believe Blake Neer is going to get an EOL, or did he get through that? So it appears
showing intent.
Unscathed.
Big break for the point leader after all, as he looks like he'll restart in 10th here. Now, these yellows are helping Shaw's tire situation, obviously. Right? The more laps he's putting down, the less he's going to have to battle.
You got that right. Kyle Edgar helped Gareth Gonder down into the corner. Gonder did not appreciate that. He pinches Edgar down to the inside of a turn number 2, and we've got one wrecking in 3. That is Blair Wickett in the 17. Looks like they've collected a number of other cars, but Gareth Gonder, I don't think he'll be too happy with the 47 of Kyle Edgar. And Blair Wickett, he wants fresh tires.
Well, Wickett has nothing to lose now. He's going to have to go to the back. He might as well go in and get those tires.
Absolutely. Gareth Gonder just went up and gave the business to the 47 of Kyle Edgar under yellow. So we'll look at this replay again. Blair Wickett, and he's running behind a 3-wide battle. He gets pushed up just a little bit. Connor James tries to go 3 wide in the middle. That's not a good look. And Wickett goes around. I thought there was more to that accident. It was kind of an innocent little half spin there. We'll see if Connor James gets put to the back, and that SSG gloves number 4. Wow. There is a lot going on in this race. Clinton, I've got to get my voice cured here for the summertime. It's not holding up very well. I haven't had it it's not in fine mid-season form.
Something like that will get you up there. We'll get you in shape by the time April rolls around.
Yeah, it sure will. So by the end of this one, what I always enjoy, Clinton, is kind of looking at a race backwards when it all ends and see who was able to avoid the trouble. And they 9 times out of 10, the drivers who are a little bit less aggressive but are able to keep their noses clean, they might not have the blazing speed right from the start, but they tend to be the ones that make it to the front by the end. I still like the chances of Kyle Edgar in that 47. Not only does he have fresh tires, but he's also we haven't made him the topic of many conversations tonight, which means he hasn't been involved in too many skirmishes.
Yeah, look at the Edgar 47 there under caution. And you mentioned Adam, him, and Gonder getting together. They're going to line up nose to tail here. Or one inside, one inside.
Yeah, if it's a double file restart, they'll line up. Yep, so Kyle Edgar on fresh rubber, Gareth Gonder on older tires, and being stuck on the outside. I don't like his chances here on this restart if Donnie does leave it double file.
Under 30 to go here from Five Flag Speedway, part of the Grisdale Racing Products Winter Meltdown, presented by Caldecott Millwrights and London Recreational Racing. Looks like the lights are off in the pace car.
Single file restart. Keep in mind, 47 of Kyle Edgar, fresh rubber. The 24 of Kyle Steckley, that Quick Wick sponsored machine. He's got fresh rubber as well, but Dale Shaw with nothing ahead of him but clean racetrack. Old tires or not, he's holding a pretty wheel right now.
Shaw smooth on the back straightaway as they take this one down inside. 30 to go. Closing in on 25 remaining.
I'll tell you about the driving style right now of Kyle Edgar in that 47. He's over-driving the car and costing himself speed, but what he's trying to do is keep himself ahead of the front bumper of Gareth Gonder, and slapping the wall on the floor isn't going to help him. Gonder into the back end of Kyle Edgar. Edgar spins around the other way, slams the wall. Gareth Gonder also involved, and that's a situation, Clinton, where the driver that caused the accident so often gets away scot-free. Gareth Gonder wanted retribution. He got it, and he just cost himself about 20 positions.
Wow, Joe Lawrence and Dyson were so lucky to get out of there because they were all up in that business as well.
Having a look, Kyle Edgar slaps the wall just a little bit. Remember, we were riding on board with him. That ruins his momentum. Gareth Gonder gives him a bump, and in the bump and run, remember, the important part is the run. He didn't get away. Gave him a second bump, maybe with some help from Kyle Steckley. Kyle Edgar winds up turned into the outside wall, but Gareth Gonder also nosed into the Five Flag Speedway sign along the back straightaway. As we look again from the front bumper, two bumper right into the fuel cell of Kyle Edgar. And as Edgar corrects and goes up the racetrack, he catches Gareth Gonder, turns him into the wall as well.
Yeah, Dyson got a nose-to-nose contact with the 47 of Edgar, got out of it. Lucky for him there. As I mentioned earlier, Lawrence was in that battle too. He got through that somehow.
Yeah, looked like everybody but the two cars that we're talking about really got through there mostly unscathed.
Well, is this playing into the hands of Dale Shaw? The more laps they pace around here under yellow, the more it's going to help him. Kyle Steckley there in third place with fresh tires, hoping for a shot here.
Have a look at the top 10 running order. You talk about Dale Shaw. He's doing a great job out in front. Alex McCollum running in second. Kyle Steckley, Ryan Dyson, Joe Lawrence. We've talked about them in their races, but how about this? Blake Neer, who was able to avoid the big one. Brody McPherson. Tyler DiVincenzo has come back from his misfortunes to run 8th. Wally Wilson in 9th. And Marshall Schrenk, who's been involved in at least 5 incidents tonight between the B main and the A feature. He rounds out our top 10. Great job by Marshall Schrenk in the 22.
Back to Neer there, came into tonight as the point leader. That's how you win championships, right? We thought he was out of it 3 times tonight, and somehow he's still hanging around the top 10. and top 6 actually right now. And that's how you get it done.
You're absolutely right. The only lap that pays points is lap 100. That's when you want to be there. And boy, oh boy, it doesn't look like the lighting is all that prime at 5, does it?
Well, when the pace truck lights are brighter than the lights at the speedway.
Single file restart. Dale Shaw waiting to get on the loud pedal. Great launch out in front of Alex McCollum. Kyle Steckley in the 24 is the top 3. Streak down into turn number 1, and they'll remain single file all the way back through the top 10 as these cars get back up to speed. 20 laps to go here at 5 Flag. Big speedway.
Still Shaw holding on to the lead, trying to stretch it out over the rest of them. Sparks fly off the front straightaway as they make their way through. Somehow Dyson and Lawrence are still in the battle here, running in 4th and 5th.
Like near to the inside of Ryan Dyson as we are under yellow once again. Yellow flag is out. Connor James in the 4. Ray Morneau in the 0-3. Gareth Gonder in the 81. Clint, I want to remind you and our viewers of something. We're supposed to have damage turned on, and there's no competition after the vicious wrecks that we've seen. And watch the 0-3 of Ray Morneau. It looked like he wanted to get to the inside of Colton Everingham. And I don't know if there was contact from Connor James or not, but Connor James winds up spun to the outside of the track. Ray Morneau was spun to the inside of the track. Gareth Gonder having to grab a gear and get that car rolling once again. Let's have another look here. I think this angle will be a little bit better as we see Morneau looking to the inside. And yeah, square from the back end, Connor James in the 4. I guess you got to be aggressive to get where you're going, but at the same time, there is a line. There's a line you can't cross. You get someone squirrely, chances are you're going to get involved as well, and that's what we saw there.
We're down to the bottom half of this one now. This race starting to quickly yellow away here.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier last week at the Legends Oval at Charlotte. People were dreading that racetrack, but we had a very clean, a great race. Here at 5 Flags, not so much. A lot of yellow flags tonight, but I think we'll still get an exciting finish out of this one as Dale Shaw leads the way. Alex McCollum in second, filling in for Justin Momberket in that black number 16. Third is the Quick Wick number 33, A.W. Millraid sponsored entry of Kyle Steckley. Joe Lawrence inching his way to the front. He lines up in that 4th position in the Pennzoil 78. And then rounding out the top 5 is the APC 28 of Ryan Dyson. Let's go back through your top 10. The 56 is Brody McPherson. The 97 is Tyler DiVincenzo. He runs in the 7th spot. Running in 8th, Wally Wilson in the 69. Marshall Schrank in the 22 runs in the 9th spot. And rounding out the top 10, can you believe it? DJ Christie in that bright yellow number 5. What a race of survival for Christie to work his way back through the pack. We're about to go back to green flag racing.
Sometimes you just got to hang around. Shaw gets to the jump here, and he will work his way on the McCollum 16 as he pulls away a little bit. Had this thing gone green from about lap 70, Adam, do you think Shaw would still be sitting here with 14 to go?
I'm not sure, but we're under caution once again, and boy, oh boy, Marshall Schrank in the 22. He was in the top 10. I'm kind of surprised he was able to spin out or got spun out and nobody else got collected. Let's look for this replay. If memory serves, he was back in the 9th position with DJ Christie right behind him. And we'll look here to Christie looking to the inside on the restart. Yeah, a little bit of contact there in turn number 2, and Schrank goes around. He gets sideways. Kyle Edgar involved, and the yellow flag flies.
Christie will fade back into 16th. We'll see where he can get going on the restart. Still Dale Shaw trying to hold off McCallum at the front of this one. Kyle Steckley running in position 3. Then you got Joe Lawrence in 4th. 5th is Ryan Dyson. Brandon McPherson back there in 56th. Steven Enzo in 7th. Wilson in 8th. Tamirsma all the way back up to 9th after leading early. And Colton Evernham in 10th.
Yep. Colton Evernham obviously is going to advance positions. That's what he does each and every week. The lights are still on the pace truck, so we'll wait for them to come off. It's going to be about a 10-lap shootout. And hopefully we can get most of them run under green flag conditions. But again, we talked about it, Clinton. Track position is king. I love the fact that most of the field came in to take on tires. It was worth the effort. But what we've learned time and time again this season, track position beats tires. Kyle Steckley's going to have to try to prove us wrong. He's in that 3rd position. He's got the opportunity to make it happen after coming down pit road and taking on fresh rubber, but he's not going to have a lot of laps to try to do it.
Less than 10 to go here when we get going again. From Five Flag Speedway as part of Grisdale Racing Products Winter Meltdown, presented by Caldecott Millwrights and London Recreational Racing. Looks like about 8 to go when we go back to it.
Alex McCallum hanging back a little bit, but the lights are still on the truck, so we've got one more lap here under yellow, and then I think we'll set them loose. We'll have a few words with our scoring team after this one, Clinton. Try to get these yellows shortened up, or the tow truck crew. It's one or the other usually.
Well, lights are on the pace truck now. We're ready to go. Hopefully we can finish this one.
Dale Shaw to Guelph, Ontario, looking to stay out in front. The only American in the field, Alex McCallum, running in the 2nd position as they take the green out of turn number 4. A little bit of an accordion down in the corner. But they're off into turn number 1, and we remain green, at least onto the back straightaway.
Got a lap car in front of the leaders here, and this is going to pose some issues for them. Looks like Kyle Edgar possibly trying to get rolling. And he's going to try and stay out of the way of Shaw and McCallum, with Steckley and Lawrence running 3rd and 4th.
We would hope he'll try to stay out of the way. He's holding to the inside, but he's not really slowing down as Dale Shaw gets to him. He charged that corner pretty hard. Shaw had to go up the racetrack to avoid. Everybody in line, the top 4 nose to tail down the back straightaway with Kyle Edgar stuck to the bottom of the track.
I should not Edgar let these guys go by. I mean, he's in the point standings too. You don't want to cause somebody a race here with 4 to go after tonight.
I don't know if he's trying to stay on the lead lap or not. So, Edgar across the front end of our leader, Dale Shaw. I don't know what happened there, but it was ugly.
You could see that one coming a while, and that'll be the end of Shaw's night. Tough break. He played the strategy perfect, but he did not plan on a lap car taking his nose off with 5 to go. Exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, it looked like he never attempted to turn and then escapes right away. His car disappears off the racetrack as Dale Shaw sits along the outside wall, unable to continue.
You're going to look at it.
Lap after lap, this doesn't make sense to me, really. Lap after lap, Kyle Edgar ran down low a couple of times. We'll see. We'll see.
Can we think of a reason prior in this race why he would possibly need to take a shot? Or do you think that was just loss of control?
No, there's been
the quick
some
exit
team
makes you
going on. Yeah. And there's been some
The quick
ruffled
exit
feathers and some hard feelings.
was either, a takeout, at which point he got out of there right away, or it was an embarrassment. I'm out here. I just took out the leader.
Yeah, we'll know soon enough, as we're going to go into overtime here with a green-white checker finish. Alex McCollum in the 16, Kyle Steckley in the 24, the 78 of Joe Lawrence, the 28 of Ryan Dyson, and look at this, the 97 of Tyler DiVincenzo back in the top 5.
Well, shows you here it doesn't pay to quit. If you hang it out, you could still have a shot at the end of these races. DiVincenzo showing us that here tonight.
So Dale Shaw's rolling again. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here.
Now, they can't give him his spot back, right? Physically in the game, it's not possible.
Yeah, no, I don't know how you would do it unless you penalized everyone else to take away their spots.
Interesting turn of events.
Yeah, I'll say.
I'm not disputing the fact that if it was a takeout, Shaw should get his spot back. I just don't know how they manipulate that in iRacing. I've never seen that done before. Usually the computer just takes control, right? You can manipulate it certain ways, but never move to the front of the field and be right in the scoring.
Back under green. Yeah, green flag is out. Dale Shaw up the outside. Kyle Steckley splits the middle. They go 3 wide. Dale Shaw just could not keep his car down the racetrack. Joe Lawrence gets around Kyle Steckley. Alex McCollum leads the way. I believe they're going to see the white flag this time. One more lap to go at Five Flags Speedway.
McCollum had it, but there's tons of smoke down into one of the back straightaway. Joe Lawrence trying to do what he does best here in Ontario and take one away at the finish.
Off at turn number 4, he's not going to do it. Alex McCollum takes the win. Joe Lawrence second, Kyle Steckley third. They are wrecking down the straightaway. We will get you the results shortly. What a wild one this was.
Back to the manipulation of putting Shaw at the front. Even if you're able to give him the spot back, you can't undamage his car, right? And we showed that as soon as we went green. Shaw was basically out of the mix.
Yeah.
And we'll finish deep out of the top 10.
So Ryan Dyson rounds out the top 5 behind Tyler DiVincenzo, who came home 4th. 6th through 10th, Wally Wilson, Colton Everingham, Brody McPherson, Garrett Tamiersma, and Blair Wickett. Clint, let's take a quick break and we'll come back to Victory Lane and talk to our winners.
What makes a trailer a Miska? Is it the heavy-duty Canadian steel they are made from? Or is it the exceptional finish that will last year after year? How about knowing that these are the best backed trailers in the industry? These are the reasons you buy Miska. So what makes these trailers a Miska? It's the hard-working Canadians who craft them. We are Miska. We are Canadian tough.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Ribs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him, that he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps to tech liner for your truck bed to bump step to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Phone keeps phones secure in any cup holder. Order your ultimate protection today at weathertech.ca.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave sausages and street dogs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
Welcome back to G-Force TV. We are in Victory Lane. for the winter meltdown after a wild one. Let's start with Kyle Steckley in a third place run, if my memory serves me correctly. There was a lot going on at the end of that race, Kyle. Talk about what just went down.
Yeah, it was definitely a crazy race. I just tried to stay out of the wrecks the best I could and ended up P3, which wasn't too bad. I got some fresh tires about halfway through there, so I was a bit better than those guys. I just never had the laps to really contest with them.
Did you think fresh tires were going to make a bigger difference when you pitted there, Kyle?
I thought it was definitely a good move. I was worried I was going to have to fall back quite a bit, but it ended up working out pretty well. There wasn't enough green flag runs to get by those front guys, so it was definitely a good race, though.
Yeah, good job with the top 3 finish. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, I gotta thank Quick Wick Fire Starters, AW Millwright, Napa Auto Care, and April Oils.
Sounds good, Kyle. Great job with the third place run tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, Joe Lawrence, you got up to second. It looked like you kept charging your way through the top 10, but it seemed to take forever to get up there and really battle for a top spot. What did you need to maybe finish one spot better, or are you content with the second place run tonight?
Well, for how the night went, definitely happy with the second. There was a few moments in time where I thought my night was over, but we survived a couple wrecks. But like Kyle said, we just needed a couple of green flag runs to get the new tires up front, but just never got them, and we were able to pick off a couple cars here and there and take home a second.
Yeah, the restarts looked pretty hairy. I mean, what was holding you back from making those runs, or did you need the laps to build some momentum?
Just needed the laps to build some momentum. It's hard to get a good run off a 2 on the initial start. Everybody's got drive off still at that time. It just takes a couple laps for the old tires to really set in and really show how much slower they are.
Well, second place is nothing to be disappointed with, especially when some of the big points contenders had their challenges tonight. Joe, who'd you like to thank?
Definitely got to thank APC and Pennzoil for supporting the whole thing for me here. And then Grisdale, G-Force for putting this whole thing on. It's honestly a great time and something to do during the off season. Really keeps you in the racing spirit.
Well, yeah, how else would you be building hard feelings in this long off season?
They gotta have some fun somehow.
There you go. Thanks for coming out, Joe. Good job with the second place tonight.
Yep.
Alex McCollum, substitute driver extraordinaire. You had to start from the back of this one. You got involved in a couple of mishaps early on, but by and large, you were able to weed your way through the field. How did you do it?
Yeah, I just had to play it patient. A lot of guys were being aggressive early on. I was just keeping my nose clean. So, um, just had to play it smart with how those guys are racing up there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Was there a point in the race where you thought, okay, now's the time I really got to charge, or do you have to stay patient from start to finish?
You basically have to stay patient from start to finish. But when we had the green flag runs, that's when I start making my moves. But um, with these cars, you have to be super smooth and super patient, especially with the guys around you, so you don't hit them or nothing. But um, just really thankful for the opportunity to come substitute drive for Dustin. Glad I was able to get it done for him.
Yeah, nice job tonight, Alex. Who'd you like to thank?
Dustin Marbicat for letting me substitute for him. You guys for putting the vent on. Don. It was fun racing with you guys.
Yeah, you did a great job. Put on a great show tonight, Alex. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, folks, that's going to do it from Victory Lane here at Five Flag Speedway. Clinton Jeffrey, how did you like being a sidekick tonight?
I much prefer to be a fan, but I enjoyed watching these races. It was great to help you guys out tonight. Thanks for having me.
That was a lot of fun to be here. We hope you enjoyed the show. On behalf of myself, Matt Thomas from FLX Media, Clinton Jeffrey, who worked with me tonight, and all of us here at GeForce TV, thanks for tuning in to the Grisdale Racing Products Winter Meltdown Super Late Model iRacing Series, presented by Caldecott Millwright Services and London Recreational Racing. We will see you next Tuesday night at 9 o'clock for round number 7.